my jerry-rigged dryer lint capture device.
Yeah, so what I had to do was I had to get an air filter to cover up my dryer vent, because whoever built this house intelligently decided that the dryer vent would best be served by emptying its contents straight into the garage. So I went out to drive the Corvette today, and it was covered in a very fine layer of lint and just nastiness. Awesome. So anyway, Lincoln Aviator. I had the opportunity to go on this sort of like preview of the Lincoln Aviator, which it's not like officially out yet, or it's just now coming out at the time you see this video. So I thought, I've been thinking about making a series for a while on cars or motorcycles or anything that I am able to get my hands on, but not necessarily go through kind of like a full testing review process. So this is sort of like a hot take on the Lincoln Aviator based on my limited time with the car. It was pretty cool, and it was a unique opportunity, and I'm hoping that I get the chance to get behind the wheel relatively soon. So I hope you enjoy this short video, and I'll pop back in at the end to add a few thoughts to my limited experience. What's going on, YouTube? Jax here, and I'm in Atlanta at a preview held by Lincoln for the all-new Lincoln Aviator. You can probably see some of them behind me, around me. In fact, they're like everywhere. There's Lincoln Aviators all over this parking lot, and it is a blast because the Aviator, in case you've been living under a rock, is kind of a big deal for Lincoln. Check out some of these shots. Now, the Lincoln Aviator is an all-new model based on the Ford Explorer platform. Oh, by the way, let me address the fact that I'm dressed like a Southern gigolo. I apologize, but they wanted us to look semi-presentable here, so I have no sunglasses and no t-shirt on. I know that's kind of weird, but the Aviator is an all-new model. It's based loosely on the Ford Explorer platform. It's rear-wheel drive. We have pretty much every engine configuration here. I'm not going to go through them all, but there is a hybrid, and it does have over 600 pound-feet of torque. 600 pound-feet of torque. 600 pound-feet of torque, which is a lot. It's more torque than 500 pound-feet. I happen to think that the Aviator looks pretty phenomenal, to be honest with you. And there's two things I like about it. One is the stance and the presence. I think the Aviator has a wonderful street presence. It sits like low for an SUV. It's long. The lines accentuate the length. I think the front end looks great. The interior is impeccable. Like, it's seriously amazing. I have not seen an interior with that attention to detail in quite some time, especially at we'll call it reasonable price, but for a luxury car, a reasonable price. Did I mention the 600 horsepower engine? The 600 horsepower turbocharged engine hybrid system. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Also, shout out to Lincoln for calling it the freaking Aviator. Not the XT, Y, ZQ, Beta, Theta, Alpha 3.0, 2.0 Coupe. They called it the Aviator. It has a name. It has a name, and its name is Robert Paulson. I mean, Aviator.
His name is Robert Paulson.
Its name is Aviator. See, if you drive a Lincoln Aviator, you look like this. You wear fancy clothes and white dresses. You drink fancy drinks. You don't look like this. I drive a Ford Ranger. They drive Lincoln Aviators. It has a name, Aviator. This is Aviator. This is sad. So if I had to make a guess, I would say I think the Lincoln Aviator is going to be a big hit. The interior was absolutely gorgeous, and hopefully that came across in the images. But I think the Lincoln Aviator is exactly the kind of like American luxury mid-size SUV that we need right now, because the Europeans and the Japanese have a lot of offerings in the segment, and we really don't. We're just now seeing offerings from Cadillac and Lincoln, and I haven't got the opportunity to see the Cadillac in in person, the new XT6, whatever dumb name that Cadillac is calling it right now. But the Aviator to me looks like the more attractive of the two offerings. I'm not going to say one is better than the other because you certainly can't make that call until you get behind the wheel. But I think the Aviator has that kind of American style, the sort of long lines, the premium interior with the sort of kind of bespoke switches. I love that the transmission is like toggle switches. It's not buttons, it's not a dial, it's like legit toggle switches. And I think that's a really unique look. Exactly the kind of thing that says American luxury as opposed to the more staid European and Japanese brands. Now, does that necessarily mean that the Aviator is going to be a huge success? No, not really. It all depends on how the market reacts. But personally, I lean more towards the Aviator simply from an aesthetic standpoint and, a little bit of a heritage standpoint as well. I am definitely, as I said in the video, partial to the fact that the Aviator has a name. I think we need to see this more. I think American cars and the American car industry throughout the years had some of the coolest and most important, and I mean important, like from a historical standpoint, important names in the history of the automotive industry. And I would love to see us kind of get back to that and get away from the alphanumeric naming system that, like companies like Cadillac are employing. I think Lincoln is definitely on the right track. From my limited time in the Aviator, the interior is gorgeous, powertrains sound very compelling, I can't wait to get behind the wheel of one, and the exterior sheet metal is unique without being, let's say, polarizing. I hope it's a home run for Lincoln. I'd like to see them succeed after, if we're being straightforward, many years of complete failure. It would be nice to see them get back on top, or if not on top, close to the top. So that's sort of my perspective on the Lincoln Aviator. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's certainly a lot easier to do videos like this if I have the opportunity to kind of experience the car than it is to do the full review if I have time. So I'd love to do more of them if you enjoy it. Take care. I'll catch you in the next one. Drive safe, ride safe. Peace.
Here's the result of a complete septic system overhaul, and that's not even including the backyard. It's been good times around here, I can promise. By good times, I mean horrible. Ugh. What is this? Ugh. Gross. Something is making a mess of my extremely rare '09 Accord Coupe. A.